Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nicholas Hiel. I'm head of the boarding school Ernst-Kalkuhl-Gymnasium. And first of all, I would like to thank Lisa Gao and her team for the invitation to speak to you, to present to you not only our boarding school, but also to give you more information about Germany and why it could make sense to maybe move to Germany to visit the high school there and also to continue with a study program or even work program in Germany. I always like to start with this picture. It's a display of the city of Bonn, and it's combining all the important things about our presentation. First of all, you can see the city center, and down at the city center there are four bell towers, and they are part of the University of Bonn, which is one of the best universities in Germany. And if you look at the riverside to the right, there are two towers. It's not like Hong Kong, but for Bonn standard, it's pretty high building. And they represent the international community we live in Bonn. It's one building of the United Nations, and the other one is DHL. And both represent kind of the academic career, and if you continue your academic career, you can already start working maybe in an international company. To the other side of the river, there is our school. It's the place where your career might begin. So what are the reasons actually for you to consider to go to Germany? We have about 100 million native speakers of German, and German is a widely spoken language, at least in Europe, but also in some other parts of the world. Some people know about German because German companies basically are all over the world. And also, it's very good to have skilled employees in Germany. We actually have a shortage of skilled employees, so that Germany is actively looking in other countries whether people are interested in coming to Germany in order, to give benefit to the society and to work for European or German companies. Another reason is compared to other countries, life in Germany is relatively cheap, and especially with regards to universities, if you have a German Abitur, then universities are for free. So the standard of the academic standards is very high at our universities, and they have a good reputation. And still, it's not like in America, the US, or in also Britain, that you have to pay a lot of money in order to graduate from university. Very important for the study program is that you have a proficient level of speaking German. It's a B2 or C1 level, which is often required for international students. And if you have the possibility to do a German Abitur after year 13 in Germany, then you do not even need to prove the language test, because with our Abitur, you are admitted to all study programs, with exception for medicine and medicine mainly. There it's very important to have a very, very high grade. So you can do your Abitur, but to study medicine, you need to have an average of 1.0, 1.1 in order to get admitted to the universities. This is kind of challenging, but it's not impossible. So basically, after graduation, you are looking for a good university. It's for foreigners not that easy to find easily a good university for your needs. Meaning, in Germany, we have not the one best university, but it depends on your subject which you want to study. So, for example, if you're looking for engineering, it's definitely RWTH Aachen, which has an excellent reputation, and the big companies or industrial companies with regards to engineering are actively recruiting from that university. Overall, for example, the Ludwig Maximilian University in Munich is regarded as a very good university, but still engineering companies would not directly recruit from that university because they are not that excellent in engineering, for example. So this is kind of tricky for foreigners to find, or also for our international students to find a suitable university designed for their needs. And that's why it's also important when you come to a German school that you also have advice on how you want to continue with your career. And I will go into more detail later on this aspect. If you're looking on the slide, I mentioned like 8 to 9 different universities which are excellent in the specific fields. And it's kind of a program which we also offer at our boarding school, that we support youth children to find a good university. So basically, going back to the school, the road from Hong Kong to Germany, we have a slightly different school system in Germany. We moved back from having 12 years of school to 13 years. The reason is that we say in Germany that students need one more longer to get more mature to finish the study program. And so basically we have year 11 to 13, which are the last 3 years of the secondary school, which are important to get your Abitur. So if you have the middle school in Hong Kong after year 9, then depending on the program, you normally take 1 year to learn the language, and either in Hong Kong or in Germany, for example, in a language school, until you reach a level of B2, and then you could already enter in year 11. Year 11 is the first year of the upper secondary level with 11 subjects, which you can choose out of 17, 18 subjects. And in year 12, you already have the first year of the Abitur. So the Abitur is not only one examination in the end, but starting from year 12, all your grades which you are collecting already give points for your final Abitur grade. So it's important that in year 12, your language level is already on a very good level, so that you can collect the marks necessary in order to get a good Abitur. In year 13, you have in the end 4 bigger examinations. 3 are written, and there is 1 final oral examination with 3 teachers in the subject. And in the first 15 minutes, you need to solve a task given to you, which you can prepare for 30 minutes. And thereafter, there are 15 minutes of further questions. And this is the 4 examinations contribute like 30% for the overall Abitur grade. Important or a very important difference between Germany and Asian countries is that the oral participation in class is very important, meaning that 50 up to 100% of your grade consists of the oral participation. Oral participation is not only raising your hand and answering questions, but also handing in papers, also reading out loud your homework. In the end, the teachers want you to be active in class. They motivate you to be active in class, and they want you to react on issues. It's not always about giving the perfect answer. It's more about contributing and developing. And this is something which depending on your personality, it's one of the biggest struggles you might face. And that's why we have at our boarding school designed a language concept. It's fostering especially this need that you are able of speaking up in German in class. So we have a German for Foreigners DAF program, and at the beginning, it's most important that you get kind of a language training, speak up training, that you improve your grammar and your vocabulary, and that you feel confident to speak. So when you come, you have 1 year before all the grades count for the Abitur. And in this period of time, we invest a lot of time into improving your German and also, to make you understand the German concept of speaking up in class. Then in year 11, we focus more on the written academic concept, also in the German for Foreigner classes, because you need to know how to write an analysis and what is required by you in examinations, in written examinations. And in the last year, we also already focus also on the language assessment, oral assessment when you have the presentation. So this is kind of over the whole stay which you have in Germany at our boarding school, you will be accompanied by a tailored German for Foreigners program. Of course, it's also important that you connect to the German society, to the German students. So we have at the beginning of the year always that we have a buddy program, that international students get 1 or 2 buddies who are kind of responsible to introduce you to the German culture, who are also kind of friends who will support you if you have questions, if you have any worries, or if you do not know how to handle something in Germany. You can ask them, obviously, of course, in addition to our pedagogic support. They shall help you to quickly connect to the other students of our school. Besides, we have language evaluation by the teachers, meaning that if you are in a class, you will get assessed by the teachers not only with regard to the content of the class, but they will give you also an evaluation about how good your German is with regards to the oral participation, to your written examination, and whether you understand the task. So we get a very detailed analysis about your progress, and based on this progress, we can tailor again the DAF program. And for example, if you are very good already in the oral participation, but you have difficulties in writing, that we would focus in your DAF program, in your German program, on improving your writing. In general, a reason why many students choose our boarding school is our academic concept. We have in Germany only kind of a half day of school, meaning that a school starts at 7:40 and finishes at 1 o'clock. And after that, you don't have free time, but it's the beginning of the boarding school. And after lunch, you will have from 2 to 9 in the evening the possibility to visit the Silenzium. It's kind of a study hour in order to do your homework or to prepare for examinations. We don't give permission that you study in your room, because then you will be not focusing too much on the subject, but you might be distracted by social media, computer, whatever. So we say All students need to do 2 hours of Silenzium each day between 2 and 9 o'clock in a supervised room, so that a pedagogue is paying attention that you're really studying and that you're focused. This is giving you a structure, and structure is important in order to handle all the requirements by the school. Of course, in the Silenzium, it's like in a library. It's a very calm and quiet atmosphere. You have not the possibility to ask questions. So if you have difficulties in any subjects, we offer in all subjects except for sports, Fachsilenzien. Fachsilenzien are specific classes in a subject, meaning, for example, if you have problems in English or in physics, biology, there is a timetable published each week to the students, at which room someone is available. These are often teachers of our school or people who will become teachers in this subject, and is often in a relation 1-to-1, 1-to-3 students, that you can directly ask them your questions in order to make progress in a specific subject. The so-called Fachsilenzium is mandatory for you if your grades are not sufficient anymore. Meaning, if you get a deficit by the teachers, we will know in the boarding school, and you need to mandatorily visit these Fachsilenzium classes. So this is a very close cooperation between boarding school and the school, so that we have an exchange of information in order to make sure that you will be very good in the academic aspect. Oh, by the way, also our international students, we have kind of 98% rate of passing the Abitur. It's that we have in beforehand, we already choose students who are, or when cooperating with the team of Lisa Gao, we know which students are good for our boarding school or for other boarding school, and also if the students are committed, that is always making the difference. If a student is committed to the subject, to learning the language, and to have the aspiration to be good in school, then it's very likely that he will pass the Abitur. As I mentioned before, we do not only focus on our school itself, but we already look forward to the career after the school. So we have one pedagogue who used to work for a university before in the university counseling of giving advices what to study. And Ms. Carly has established a career counseling program offering once to twice a week, a full day. First of all, finding subjects which are of interest to study. She does personality testings, and she asks about the strengths, about the weaknesses, and in order to find ways which study program could be the best. But of course, students already might have an idea which study program they want to do. And then she also supports in applying at the universities and applying also for internships, for example, because in Germany it's very important that you know how to write CV, a curriculum vitae, to universities or also to companies in order to get selected by HR. In addition, at our school, we have in total 3 weeks of internships, meaning that it's not correct, it's not year 10 and 12, now it's year 11 and 13, meaning that in year 11 and 13, you will have the possibility to look into into how companies work. It could be a small veterinarian or a doctor. It could be, we had a South Korean student this year who worked 2 weeks at a family court because she's interested in studying law. So you have the possibility to look into different fields of careers, and this is also important in order to get to know what you really want to do in the future. In addition, we have a career exploration day, and the benefit is that the University of Bonn is very close to our boarding school. It's like 8 to 10 minutes ride with public transport. And obviously in Germany you have open universities, meaning that you can look in the internet for interesting study programs, and you can just go into the lectures and visit the lectures in order to get a feeling, is this a study program I would really like to do or not. And that's the overall idea about why it could make sense for you to come to Germany, and how your prospective career could look like. Now I would like to give you more information on our boarding school in particular. Our school was founded in 1880 by my great-great-grandfather. Ernst-Kalkuhl founded the boarding school after he spent a lot of time in Paris and in London. And he figured out that in Germany we do not have boarding schools established like in these two countries. So he thought it was a good idea to found a boarding school. And up to this date, we are now in the 5th generation. The boarding school and the school is run by our family. And that's also why the name is Kalkuhl. It's the name of my great-great-grandfather. In total, we have 650 students. And as I said, the school is from 7:40 to 1 o'clock. So meaning that the external students are only joining for the school program in the morning. So this is also of importance, because your environment in school is completely kind of German. In the courses, all your neighbors or the majority of the courses are always German, and we can actually select the best students from the area of Bonn. So we have 7 people applying for a place at our school, and we only accept 1 for external students in year 5. So external students are only accepted once in year 5, and thereafter not anymore. So we have a very high academic standard in our school, and as I said, we have huge companies in Bonn, international companies, and that's why many also companies or parents who work for those companies want to send their children to our school. So we have a high demand and only accept 1 in 7. In the boarding school, we have in total 80 places. In addition to that, we have 60 daytime boarders who are like boarding students but without a room. They can spend the whole day in the school and the boarding school, but they sleep at home because their parents come and live in the area of Bonn. And we have international students 55, so the majority is actually international students, but they come from all over the world, from Asian countries, from South America. We have a quite huge group from Mexico, about 10 to 15 students who have visited there the German school since kindergarten, so they are fluently speaking German, and some of them stay in Germany, and some of them return after year 11 to Mexico in order to do the Abitur in Mexico. Then we have from European countries students, so it's a very nice mixture of nationalities in the boarding school, and we It's also important to mention we do not accept in our boarding school students who do not want to go to a boarding school. So we are no place for parents who cannot take care of their children anymore because they don't have time and they need to find a place. But for us, it's very important that children want to come to the boarding school. We also do not accept any students who get paid by the government. So it's also important that we do not have kind of social yes, it's kind of we do not have the social problems then when it comes to taking drugs, alcohol and stuff. So we have a very close surveillance about the admission process, and it's important for us that we have a fit of the students, that they are here to be very good in the academic way. And also with regard to the boarding school, we have a long list of people applying there, and that's why we also can choose good students for our boarding school. The boarding school is located in the western part of Germany in Bonn, which is the former capital of Germany until 1990, and since then it has maintained its international character. Nonetheless, it's unlike Berlin. It's a rather small city with only 250,000 inhabitants. And as you can see, you have a green landscape and very much green area, which is very nice, a very huge natural recreational area or natural protected area, which is actually as big as the city itself. And so you always have the feeling to be in a city, but at the same time in the countryside. It's kind of having a good atmosphere. We are located on the left side of the river from this perspective. And as you can see, it's only like 20 minutes with public transport in order to get into the city center of Bonn. And one picture more, you can see that it's also a very good area. Our neighbors are, for example, airspace of Germany. There is a headquarter, one of the biggest hotels or the most interesting hotel in North Rhine-Westphalia. We have the headquarters of DHL, T-Mobile, Haribo, the sweet manufacturer, is located also in Bonn, the World Conference Center and UN campus. So you have kind of an international community here. This is the look from the mountain. In the first week, we always go with our students to the mountain so that they have a good overlook about the city. And it's not only Bonn, but very close by is the city of Cologne, which has about 1 million inhabitants. And here you can see our campus from above, and very close, like 200 meters away, is a train station, which goes within 40 minutes to the city center of Cologne and within 22 minutes to the airport of Cologne-Bonn. This is kind of the campus, some impressions. So we have rather old buildings, historical buildings, which are about 150 years. Then we have a very new sports hall, which is about 8 years. And it's all very close to the river of Rhine, which is the second biggest river of Europe. And it's a very nice countryside also to go biking, go running, or to spend some time with friends. This is kind of a workout center. It's a calisthenics park, which can be used by our boarding students or school students in order to do exercises. And in general, we have many green spaces in order to do sports. We have basketball court, beach volleyball court, football court, but we also have recreational zones like a rose garden. We have two gardeners from the UK, from Britain, who try to do or not trying to do, but they actually include the British style gardening concept. And this in the whole is giving a very nice feeling that it's important for us as a boarding student feel in Kalkuhl like it's their home and that they have many places they like. The residence is that students can either live in single rooms or in double rooms. So 80 to 90% of our rooms are single rooms. It could be only the case that in year 11 there is a need to share a room, but only in cases that the combination is good. And if parents really want their children, or if the children themselves want to live in the single room, then we will make sure. In year 12 and 13, they always have single rooms. Also, all of the rooms are in a very good condition, and they are cleaned every day by cleaning staff. And it's definitely a place where you can feel very comfortable. So I extended a bit by 5 minutes my presentation, but I hope that I could give you some important information, not only about our boarding school, but in general about the study program. And when it comes to choosing the perfect boarding school, it's not that there is one best boarding school, but as with the universities, it really depends on what your son, your daughter would like to do. Where is the focus? Some boarding schools which are more in the countryside have benefits we don't have. We have benefits because we are in a more urban zone than other boarding schools in the countryside. So it really, really depends on your specific need, of the need of your children, to find a proper boarding school. And I can only give you the advice to follow German Life Global, because they know the different boarding school very good, and we have a very good cooperation with them, and choosing the best boarding school for their children, they will definitely do. So thank you very much for your presence.